continue from where we stopped, beginning with the member for Brikama South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Vice President and the Cabinet Ministers here in present. Honorable Speaker, I will start with my debate in my constituency, particularly with Marrakech Ward. Honorable Speaker, I want to inform you about the issue of Busura village in Marrakech Ward with Talokoto, where there were a series of verdicts that have been given in favor of Busura, and still the problem is not resolved. There are a lot of violent issues going on in that area. And in fact, the last incident that was very violent, there are a lot of people that were victims of the violence, and some of them have been taken to the hospital, and this is very serious. So I really want to inform you, through you, to the Minister in charge and the Cabinet Minister, including the VP, when are they finally going to draw the district boundaries in order to resolve this problem? And this has been a big problem as far as these two villages are concerned. And the trend in which it is going need an attention immediately. Honorable Speaker, I want to come to my famous area, that's the Dasilame border crisis. Honorable Speaker, I think some time ago I went there with the two security ministers, Minister of both Interior and Defense, with the security chief and the councils, to engage our counterpart in the border area, where with the governor of West Coast, where we agreed the contentious area to remain as a buffer, and that place should remain until when the entire process is done for a demarcation. But unfortunately, there is serious encroachment in the contentious area that is creating a lot of problem. The last time they came to the area to build police stations and some of building mosques and even schools. This is creating a lot of problem, and our people are very defiant, not ready to accept them doing these things there. So that is why we need immediate attention. And I was made to understand that the former permanent secretary of lands and the committee were tasked to draw a roadmap in order to fast-track the demarcation process to avoid a conflict within this area. And this is a very sensitive area. It's between the Republic of Gambia and the Republic of Senegal. We have to understand what is really the issue on the ground here. So that is why I'm reporting. Since 2017 to date, I've been reporting this thing over and over, and it's escalating on a daily basis. I think we have to be very serious as a government to make sure that this is resolved in the soonest possible time. I know it's not going to be easy, but it's long overdue. The trend in which this has been going on need an immediate attention. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I will go to the issue of Brikama market fire incident. I think one of the most vulnerable markets in the whole country is Brikama market. And in fact, in terms of fire accident, I vividly remember in 2021 budget bilateral, we were able to give 100 million to Basse market for it to be overhauled. And during that particular adjournment debate, I advocate for the overhauling of Brikama market to be reconstructed in order to avoid the current fire incident. Because anytime there's a fire outbreak, the victims suffer a lot because almost all their material will be burned to ashes. The current one is a clear testimony. Had it been without the quick intervention of the fire and ambulance service, it would have been even cut the field and the other part of the community. So these are issues there, we have to look at it. For something that we need to understand, I don't know why the government is very much skeptical about their approach to Brikama. Brikama has been denied and rejected. And there is something that we need to understand. One of the biggest towns in the country and strategically located. And in fact, not only that, there is a reason why we are called Sateva. Sateva has a connotation which we need to understand. We are the game changers of this country. Any issue that comes, Brikama has to be in the forefront. And this has been fully manifested in the 2016 presidential election. You can understand that issues were very, very tough for us when the results start coming in. The whole of North Bank, CRR, up to URR, coming down way to LRR and up to West Coast, the Fonyi part. The entire area was completely, successfully won by the former president. Until when we reached to Brikama, we raised the flag that we are the game changer and game must be changed. The revolution must be accomplished. And up till today, there is no significant major development in Brikama. From 2017 to the date, why are we denied and rejected? We have to know that. And in fact, in 2017 and 2018, meet the people to respectively, I was chosen by the people of Brikama to speak on their behalf about issues confronting Brikama. Notably, that came as number one priority was the art of the state hospital, which the president promised with emphasis, and that of the restoration of the street lighting, where he promised with emphasis that he's going to bring the street lights with CCTV camera and Wi-Fi to an extent that where I went further to inform him that the people of Brikama has agreed that we don't need a Wi-Fi and CCTV camera, but we need the street lighting.
Observation.
But up till today, that has been a major issue. Not only that, Honorable Speaker, when you come to major road connecting Brikama, this is a nightmare. I'm still surprised in the 2021 budget bilateral, where we took part, the Kabafita, Bafuloto up to Mandinaring was factored in the 2022 budget. And the president told the whole country, making this pronouncement, that Kabafita Bafuloto road is going to be constructed. In fact, it was already factored in the budget up till today. Up till today, that road has not been constructed. Lack of fund. Why? The other issue is Brikama Jida to who is responding? No.
Honorable members, order, please. Honorable members, order.
When you come to Brikama, Jida up to Tubakuta Road, the former Minister of Works dispatched a team with him. They went there to do all these studies. The signs were out. And a promise has been made. And up till today, it's very unfortunate that that place is not developed. And in fact, this is something that we have to look at it carefully. We want to check whether we know it or not. This country needs Brikama. And in the absence of Brikama, things can be very unfortunate for us. So therefore, we need to be given the due that we deserve when you come to infrastructural development. Honorable Speaker, the issue of diaspora voting, I want to emphasize this area. And I think dealing with the election bill, we have a responsibility as a parliament. In fact, that bill is a government bill. It's not a private member bill, it's not a committee bill. The committee, the people that drafted it are from the Ministry of Justice in consultation with the IEC. And they agreed on the provisions that are in the election bill. This was submitted to the executive. They sat over it and they had a position. They brought it to us. Why are we? And you know, in doing that, they have an intent. They have a good intention for diaspora to partake in our electoral cycles. But why are we coming here, you know, removing those provisions in the election bill so as to to attract the national attention on us to be insulting. My dear friend, we have to understand this parliamentarian here, we have an image to protect. Our family image, our constituency image, and the country at large. This institution as parliament has an image. Let's not invite insult on us. The mover of that particular bill knows it very well. The government are interested. So let us temper justice with mercy and make sure that this thing is really resolved. It should not be parliament. Let's avoid to be used as a scapegoat over and over. We have to understand this thing. And finally, before I take my seat, Honorable Speaker, I want to talk about the issue of the land policy. I think it's long overdue, though, in fact, I am made to understand that drafts is out. But what we need to put into consideration, because we need serious land banking, more especially when you come to the issue of boreholes drilling. We need a serious land to be preserved seriously for future borehole drilling. And this is something that we need to put into consideration. Because the trend in which estate developers are encroaching into our land, more especially agricultural, industrial, is very, very alarming. And in fact, it's one of the timing bombs in the country. All over the country, there are a lot of land-related crises, which we need to make sure that we handle that with care, without which we'll have a problem. Honorable Speaker, with these few remarks, I just want to thank you and the entire Parliament for listening to me, but I beg to sit.
Thank you. I now invite the member for Jara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for granting me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I would also, I would like also to join my honorable
members of Jaras, members of Brikama North and Central Badibu. Don't do that, please. Jara Central, continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would also like to join my honorable members of Parliament to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency the Vice President and also the cabinet ministers here present with him, and also the top government officials here present with us, the security officers, the media, and distinguished guests here present. Honorable Speaker, in my constituency, I would first of all begin with the issue of electricity. Honorable Speaker, electricity is a basic necessity that every living citizen should acquire and enjoy. And that being the case, Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the government under the president, that is His Excellency President Adama Barrow, for the giant stride that he have made since he assumed office in terms of electrifying many local communities in rural Gambia. Although, Honorable Speaker, this is a nightmare if you talk about the people of Kabada Jara Central. From the beginning of time, Honorable Speaker, not to say from the beginning of politics, but I am saying from the beginning of time, the people or the Kabada people of Jara Central have never and ever enjoyed a single meaningful infrastructure development in that area. If you look at it, Honorable Speaker, it is a pity. This area called the Kabada Jara Central have never given their back to a sitting president. Never. It has never taken place. And remember, Honorable Speaker, this area is the crown maker. It is the crown maker. In my constituency, Jara Central, if you see a president is winning in that constituency, is this area, Kabada, Jara Central. And in LRR, if you see the president also is winning there, is the whole of Kabada, from Nyoro Jataba, right down to Dongoroba. But, Honorable Speaker, it is a pity when I asked that parliamentary question to the Minister of Works about my roads. The roads of Kabada, Jara Central, his response was there was no fund. Fund is finished. Yes, funds is finished. But the people of Kabada, Jara Central are with their voters' cards. Their voters' cards are not finished. Of course, we are with our voters' cards, and this time round, we are not going to make it any negotiable thing. Absolutely. The member for Jokadu said it here in our last previous session. No development, no vote. I think I will be the second National Assembly member who will also declare that. In 2026, the roads of Kabada, Jara Central are not constructed, no vote. Honorable Speaker, electricity is a basic necessary. If you go into the areas of electricity, Honorable Speaker, the same area again, Kabada, Jara Central, have no electricity since independence. Since independence. They brought electricity until it is very close to getting the inside of Kabada, and they stop it. They said we are supposed to wait for the second phase. Now, second phase, we are waiting for the second phase to see whether our dream will come true. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm sure the Minister for Works and Infrastructure is not around, but the Vice President is here. I think he might take it for him. Minister of Works. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. And then the other issue is the Rent Act, Honorable Speaker. In 2024, we amended the Rent Act. But, Honorable Speaker, it is a pity also for us to make a law here in this parliament and to see that that law is not enforced. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the way rent is going on in this country, it is a pity. Because if you look at the rent system in this country, Honorable Speaker, the bill is against security fee. That act is against security fee. Or if it is going to be, it has to be a very minimal, maybe 1 month security fee. But I am able to make a little research before this session and came to find that some landlords are asking for 3 to 4 months security fee, plus deposit fee of 6 months, which of course the Act also is vehemently against in that. And other charges, Honorable Speaker, like for example, if I'm going to take a house, the agent will tell me, you have to pay me $300 for me to take you to the room or to the house to see it. The Act did not specify all these things, Honorable Speaker. The Act is against this. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I think the only thing that we can do to be able to reinforce this law is what the member for Brikama South used to say. Let the government try and get what we call the cadastral mapping system. With that, I think these things would be things of the past. Because for now, it's going to be very difficult for us to identify these agents. If you see, it is very hard for this, for an ordinary Gambian to take a room and a parlor, is because of these agents. Number one, you cannot identify them until the day that you need a room and a parlor. So the charges that they will charge you, Honorable Speaker, we need to address this issue. Absolutely, we need to address this issue, because not all of us who can afford to buy a house or buy a land, build a house in it or on it and reside in it. So on that note, Honorable Speaker, I think it's very important for the government to see how best we can get this cadastral mapping. As the member for Brikama South used to say, it was his favorite issue that he used to talk about in this parliament, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's high time that when we make laws here, they are respected. It's high time. If not year in, year out, we'll be making laws here, and the laws will not be abided by. Absolutely, when I went to make my this little research before the end of this session, and came to find that this thing is still existing on this Rank Act, I was very hot, absolutely. So I'm very pleased to be part of this session today, the end of the session today. I pray to God that we witness many of them to come, and then wish you more quality it in advance. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to beg and take my seat.
Thank you, member for Jara Central. And I think both the Energy and Works Minister, they are here. They should come to your aid. I agree with you. I now give the floor to the member for Woolly East.
I will not summarize. 15 minutes. That's what you asked us to do. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to remind ourselves that we have a government that wants to prioritize transition from what we were in to democracy. Even if I don't mention it, I think you know. And because of that transition program, we have embarked on reforms. 1 reform, 2 reform, 3 reforms. We have security reform, we have legal reviews, we have policy reviews, institutional reform, including constitutional reform, as well as other reforms, electoral reform. They are all, it's a package. And if a government has taken the position to bring about all these reforms, which are noble, I think we should support it. And the majority leader is saying yes. But the problem, Honorable Speaker, is an irony that the government that is proposing those reforms, you have members of that government in this parliament supporting that government, belonging to that ruling party, but they are opposed to the reforms. That's the irony. And the whole Gambia is disappointed the 2020 draft of the Constitution was brought here. The few people who were aligned to the ruling party rejected it. The majority supported it, but we could not get the threshold of 42. It died. Again, 2024 is before us. It is dragging. We don't know why it is dragging. We are only told that there are negotiations going on, which is good. We allow the negotiations to go. But if it delays too much, know that we are going to 2026, and once we get into 2026, the polarization is going to be greater. And with such polarization, it is going to be very difficult to get the threshold at election level, 50% participation, and 75% to make it pass. That's a very difficult thing. A lot of money is going into this. I think we should become more and more positive to the reforms that we have assigned ourselves to do. And I beg all members of the Assembly to really look at these reforms. We are not doing it for anybody. We are doing it for the Gambia to ensure that our democracy is enhanced. And any government that comes will want to have those reforms if they are not there. So why the foot dragging? Why the staying on laurels? Let's be positive and move. Honorable Speaker, the member for Sanimentary was talking about clear the roads. It's a very simple thing. You have cleared the roads and you have challenges. Women are still protesting because they have no place to sell. Come with another program and say, Operation Build Markets for the women. Can't you do that? Council or central government, all of them can do it. The council can work together with the central government and they come up with a program and do that. If it is finance, they bring it here. We approve it. Let the women have a place to sell their vegetables. If we build a market for the women in Serakunda to have vegetables, they will go there. And people who need vegetables, they will go there and get the vegetables. The roads will be clear. That is going to enhance the work. When you are doing something, you have to think globally, not just restricted to what you want. Draconian measures sometimes do not work. So let's look into that. Honorable Speaker, education. I raised an issue with the Education Minister. And, well, it looks like she does not have a solution to the problem of Sarageda. Sarageda is in a forest. It's very far from Bantundi. It's very far from Murekunda, almost 4 kilometers plus. And you know the children that are coming from Dembakunda to Fodekunda, they were risking, and then you have people who wanted to rape them there. So the people are very vigilant when it comes to that. They don't want to risk their small children leaving their village to go 4 kilometers to, and the policy is saying 2 kilometers. But these people are 4 kilometers. So even if the village is small, I believe that to give them the opportunity, a feature, the Constitution is saying that everybody has a right to education. That's what the Constitution is saying. Section 30 of the Constitution is saying everybody has right to education. So if you deprive them of this right, you are not giving them the equal opportunities that the Constitution is asking for. You are also not helping these people to have the future that they require. Illiteracy will not be eradicated if we don't prioritize isolated communities. And these isolated communities, they are Gambians. They should feel inclusive. Education should be inclusive. And we say development should be inclusive. But it looks like there is no solution for Sarageda unless you allow these children to risk and go 4 kilometers plus. to go. Somebody was mentioning take a bicycle. You know, that's also not necessarily a solution. So, really, Honorable Speaker, having access to school should have been a thing of the past now. 60 years of independence, you have villages that cannot go to school because of lack of access. We should build them something small, they grow from there. Even if we build grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and maybe they can grow to a certain level where they'll be able to travel to a faraway school. That may solve the problem. But to say, well, we don't have solution, let them come. They have to come to somewhere that is far. It's not the solution to the problem. Honorable Speaker, we are dealing with the electoral bill. And we should not misinform the Gambian people. Even though there was an argument on attestation, but it passed. Our proposal was saying we remove the safes from attestation because they cannot know the whole district. But we accepted Alcalos. And when the arguments come, we accepted Alcalos to give attestation. We all know we are from villages. Not an Alcalo, you know, some Alcalos may know all their villages, but some other Alcalos may not know all the villages. There are challenges. So, but we have accepted that Alcalos do give attestation. That's the vote. So why are we protesting now? I cannot understand the protest. I cannot understand the protest. The man is, the member is so angry. And he said he wants to bring this assembly down because of Alcalos. He wants the Alcalos to hear him saying that he is the one standing for them. We stood for them here and said we believe them. Nobody should mislead the people. And when it comes to diaspora voting, we should not confuse ourselves. The minister made it very clear. Some people want to, in fact, use the excuse of blaming the minister. Some people are very unhappy that the minister, in fact, clarified everything to us. We were happy. Those who are positive were very happy with what the minister said because it was true. It was true. It was true, Honorable Speaker. What the minister said to us was true. And I even went to Facebook. So nobody should blame the minister.
Honorable Member.
And that is the role of the minister to clarify to us. Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members, order. Order. Honorable members, order, please. The honorable member for Woolies, please address the speaker. Don't, I said it earlier on, we are not in the battlefield. And please leave my member alone. Please continue.
Honorable Speaker, if you have ears, you will always hear Honorable Speaker. And when a member is speaking and say Honorable Speaker, the member is addressing the speaker. You want me to call you Honorable Chair?
No, honorable member.
And when you are communicating to the audience.
No, honorable member.
But when you are addressing, you address the speaker.
No, honorable member. Honorable members, order, please. You know the honorable member, the honorable member for Woolly East. He was speaking in a manner and the way he was gesticulating and moving his hands. Some members felt offended by that. So they want him to address me. Anyway, please continue, sir.
Okay, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the other argument about diaspora voting was this token or paper ballot. The IEC has gone to sensitize the whole country about paper ballot. I was part of it. The majority leader was there in Basse, where they demonstrated paper balloting. It was clear to everybody, even the ordinary person understood how paper ballot is. It's in fact simpler than token and marbles. Putting 20 ballot boxes in one place, 30 ballot boxes in one place, using these tokens, heavy tokens, moving about, sieving these, dusting everywhere. The IEC is saying it's outdated. It's archaic. So we should go to paper ballot now. We should transition now. But we see that people are still pushing back. So we come with the suggestion and say, let's say paper ballot and marble, whichever is feasible. And some people are saying, you cannot have two systems. That's not true. You can have two systems. In America, you can go to the post office and vote there. You can go to the polling booth and vote there. You can use electoral voting. In Pan-African Parliament, we use electoral voting. So you can use multiple ways of doing elections as long as it is free and fair. That's what we should be looking. Progress. Gambia too should progress. It's not an island. So let's accept that. That's why the IEC came with the proposal to say paper ballot, stroke marble. Whichever is feasible for the diaspora, they use that. When they demarcate, they will come here again for approval. So don't be in a haste. What is before us is the elections bill. Let's deal with that. When the constitutional amendment comes, let's deal with it positively as Gambians. United, knowing that we are working for our country, our democracy. You will be there today, but tomorrow you will not be there. Even if you pray, no matter what you do, God will decide whether you'll be there or not. So you cannot preempt your being there. Let's work for our country. I believe that. You can even live, somebody can live here and be hit and die. Don't think about your future when you are making law. You are making law for the Gambian people. Let's make law for the Gambian people. And let's make everybody inclusive. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the time and thank the ministers for their participation.
Thank you very much, Member for Wuli East. I now invite the member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will also join my colleagues in observing the same protocol, that is to thank His Excellency the Vice President and Cabinet Ministers here present, as well as Head of Departments, Service Chiefs, and journalists as well. Honorable Speaker, I wish I also have development programs that are happening in other constituencies across the region, notably Nyanija, Lower Fuladu, exactly, Lower Fuladu, in Nyanija. There are a lot of roads that are constructed there. But in my constituency, I am at the disadvantaged side of it, as alluded by Honorable Lower Fuladu West. I will, of course, align myself with your statement, Honorable Jara Central. That is, no development, no vote. No development, no problem. No problem. Honorable Speaker, I spoke about the plight of women gardeners in Lower Badibu in this very house.
Honorable Member for Lower Badibu, is Njawara part of Lower Badibu, Njawara Kerawan?
How many feeders do I have in Lower Badibu? Not especially Lower Badibu North. There is no, apart from that road, that you are just you wanted to single out. It's the only road that has been constructed in my constituency by this government. How many feeder roads do we have in Lower Badibu? They are uncountable. Not even, apart from the road that links from link Kerawan to Jawara. It's the only road that has been constructed by this government. I think leave the sleeping dog to lie, please. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I spoke about the plight of vegetable growers in my constituency last adjournment debate. The situation that they are facing with regards to marketing their produce is pathetic. Usually, these people are at the mercy of the buyers, and these buyers are usually Senegalese. They determine the price of these commodities. Women are forced to give, sell it to them at a giveaway price. When I laid the complaint before the Honorable Minister of Agriculture here, he promised me that plans are on the way to construct storage facilities across all the regions, or in all the regions across the country, notably in weekly marketing centers, locally known as LUMOs. But since then, I have not been seeing any sign of the construction of even a single one in the body bush, not to talk of the entire country. Honorable Speaker, I believe that these situations should have been arrested, if at all the minister take it upon himself and, of course, present this thing to the level of cabinet. Remember, these people, their livelihood depends on what they are doing. They are paying the school fees of their children, and they are also helping their husbands out of what they are earning. It was not so long. It was not long ago when I visited 3 gardens in my constituency. But what I saw there was, of course, beyond imagination. These vegetables, before I said they are, these people are at the mercy of the buyers. But these presently, they are at the mercy of the pest and the heat and the burning sun. They are all getting spoiled. And people should not work just to work for nothing. The reason all of us are here, we have reasons why we are here. There are reasons why we are sending our kids to school. These people don't have that opportunity. They are wholly and solely relying on farming. At least we should have a sympathy for them, to at least provide them with something where they can at least to keep their produce in, so that it will not get spoiled. Honorable Speaker, I would want His Excellency the Vice President to tell us the reason why, because the Minister is not here, the reason why that project, which was promised to me and the entire Parliament by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, that project is yet to be implemented. That reminds me of a parliamentary question that I have, of course, drawn. It was specifically meant for the Minister of Agriculture. That the plight or the outcry of our farmers in this current trade ground season was clear and loud with regards to receiving their money from the agents of Q money. Farmers were forced to crisscross between towns and villages just to receive their money. It's too sad, Honorable Speaker. I don't know the reason why they, of course, went into such an agreement with this Q group. But it is not in the best interest of our farmers. In my constituency, farmers were forced to leave Gunjur, Bani, Sabah to Farafenni. And sometimes an agent will tell you that no, he or she don't have even $5,000 with him. And if you are supposed to receive $30,000, you keep on crisscrossing between different agents. I think that arrangement should be revisited or should be rescinded by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. It is not to the best interest of our farmers. Honorable Speaker, coming to the issue of drug usage in our country. The circulation of illicit drug in our country is a cause for concern. And the people that have been targeted by drug peddlers are the young people, and these are the cream of our development. But it's very sad, the people who are supposed to join the fight against these menace it was alleged that some of the people who are supposed to be part of this fight they themselves are involved in it. Some of them were alleged to have been involved in it. A personnel of drug enforcement agency was alleged to have been involved in it. And a magistrate who is supposed to pin the traffickers and the users was alleged to have been involved in this. Where are we heading to as a country, the Gambia? Where is the future of our children? It's very sad. I know today they will say Honorable Kimo Gassama is, of course, somebody quiet. He's somebody. But today, what? I know I'll receive all sorts of names. They will give me all sorts of names, but then I know what I'm saying is between myself and Allah, my Creator. Honorable Speaker, I believe it is in this very assembly that we've approved an agreement between the Gambia and Kingdom of Spain on the issue of to make employment easier for our youthful population. Honorable Speaker, I think it is high time to look at other countries within the sub-region. The happenings in those countries does not come out of this. It was as a result of commitment and dedication, most especially of the executive. Executive has to be committed to the plight of our young people. Nobody wants to use back way just to go and die there. The reason why they are leaving is situation back home is not conducive. That's a fact. If situation is normal here, none of these people would use a back way to go and look for no greener pasture. I am pleased appealing to the government of the day. Government come, government go. Like soldier go, soldier come. Barracks remain in place. President, today, those in charge, all of us here, there will come a day, all of us here will live here. Let us try and have a very good legacy for our people. Let the government prepare something for our youthful population. If not, the future of this country is bleak. It's not bright. If you are losing your youthful population, you think the future of that country is bright? Is it bright? It's bleak. It's just like father and son. If you are not there, who take over from you? Your sons. The same thing is true. On that note, I will say Assalamu alaikum to all of you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for Lower Badibu. Indeed, those watching or listening today will know that you are really not quiet. Thank you. Now, the member for Banjul North, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we near the end of the holy month of Ramadan and Lent for this year, I will extend my warmest wishes to all who observe these important times in the Gambia and beyond. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers and also continue to bless us abundantly. I will also want to seize this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to thank the people of Banjul North once again, and also beyond, for their continued support towards my work in Parliament and even outside Parliament. Honorable Speaker, before giving my submission, I will want to seize this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the Vice President, and also all the cabinet ministers present with your technicians to this important session. This is indeed very important because seeing the Vice President and his team in the gallery, listening to us as members of Parliament speaks volume. Honorable Speaker, I will start by the most talked about issue in the city of Banjul and beyond. That is the Makati Square takeover. Honorable Speaker, I believe this is the most talked about because it is indeed a concern in relation to the laws that are put in place already as far as the Local Government Act is concerned. And Honorable Speaker, with your permission, I will want to seize this opportunity just to inform the Office of the President that there is already laws that are governing or laws that are put in place to run this country. Honorable Speaker, the Local Government Act of 2002, Part 2, Schedule 2, Section 48, Subsection 2, and I can say Section 17, that talks about the establishment, maintain or control public parks, gardens, and recreational grounds on any land vested in council should be in control of local councils. And this is very clear. But at the same time, the same Local Government Act, Part 1, Schedule 2, Section 51 and Section 52, Subsection 1 and 2, also tell or inform the central government what to do if they want to take back anything from local councils. They need to engage them. It should be in the form of a dialogue. It cannot be just a letter to inform them that they are taking over. That is not right, and I believe it's illegal, and I believe it is also important for me to urge the Office of the President to abide by the laws of this country and reverse the illegal Makati Square takeover. Honorable Speaker, going further, as a city, I believe we deserve better, and as the only capital in this country. Honorable Speaker, as I am talking to you, we are still faced with low water pressure, which is very unfortunate as a city. We need solution towards this. As a city faced with low water pressure, it is unacceptable. So I urge the line ministry responsible to do all what they can to address this issue, because it is not impacting us positively but negatively. And we want a permanent solution to it as soon as possible. Going further, Honorable Speaker, the issue of our sewage system in the city of Banjul. We are still faced with challenges, even though the Banjul Road Rehabilitation Project is really advancing and progressing. But the issue of sewage is still a problem, and one of the main issues that we are faced with is the lack or the unavailability of a sewage truck for the city. As we are speaking right now, as a city, we don't even have a sewage truck in this city to empty our manholes when they are full with sewage water. And this can cause a lot, especially when it comes to any outbreak, when it comes to health hazard in this country. And we should be very careful. Now we can spend 100 million to solve this problem, and if we don't, we can spend $1 billion in the future to solve or treat people in this country or in the city, which will be very unfortunate for this country. So I think it will be very important for the line ministry also responsible in terms of purchasing the sewage truck to do it as soon as they can. Honorable Speaker, still when it comes to our NAWEC station here in Banjul, they don't have a mobility. If you ask for their service, they will always ask you to provide them with vehicles. And for God's sake, again, we are the city. We deserve better. And I am also urging again the line minister to work on that and provide a mobility, a vehicle, so that the staff that are there will be able to provide service to the city of Banjul, which is the city of the future, I call it. Honorable Speaker, the issue of the highway street lights. Sometimes you wonder if you are entering Banjul, whether you are coming to a forest. You can't imagine because of the darkness towards entering the city of Banjul. And this, I believe, there is no excuse. For God's sake, Banjul is the city. And sometimes we have brothers and sisters from other countries that will want to visit the city, especially during the evening. But towards entering Banjul, you will wonder. And I will inform you today, if you are leaving, just observe it yourself. It's so dark. And this is unacceptable. Let them fix the lights so that you will know that you are entering to the city of the light and not city of darkness. We deserve better, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, going forward, as a nutrition champion, we have seen the great work that the Vice President did with the necessary stakeholders, that is the agencies like NANA, and also us as Parliament, by enacting the first ever nutrition law in Africa, which is very commendable. But now the implementation. It cannot be like other laws that were enacted in Parliament. We cannot accept that. There are a lot of things that are beneficial as far as the Act is concerned. That is why we enacted it. So in terms of the implementation, we must try by all means work together and see that the implementation is done amicably and immediately for that matter. And we have no excuse as far as the issue of nutrition is concerned in this country, because it is very, very beneficial, and it is something that is worth committing as Parliament, as we did by enacting this law. So I am urging the Office of the Vice President to be more committed, especially when it comes to resources, to be available so that we can address issues concerning nutrition in this country, which is indeed very important. Honorable Speaker, on health, as again a mental health champion, and to inform you as the President of the Global Youth Mental Health Forum, it is important, as we had before, that there is already an existing mental health bill, updated one. But unfortunately, as we are speaking, the bill is still in the office of the Minister of Health. I wish he was here, or his technician. I am urging him to work on this bill. We understand that it is an updated bill, which is indeed very important, but let them work on it and see to it that it is being presented to the executive and be forwarded to Parliament so that we can do the needful in terms of considering this bill. We need this bill for God's sake. Mental health is the cornerstone of any developing country. And what we are doing right now, what we are seeing right now, it is unacceptable, especially the way we treat people that are mentally disabled in this country. The act that we have, we call it the Lunatic and Detention Act. That is outdated. And I think people that are mentally disabled in this country deserve better. And even people that are providing the service deserve better, so that they will be able to do the needful in terms of helping people that are disabled in this country. Honorable Speaker, my fellow honorable members did mention about the prevalence of illicit drugs in this country. I will commend the Ministry of Interior and also the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for doing a very good job, as we see in our various communities. But notwithstanding, as the Wolof say, Faslum daw daw yoko koyar. I think it is very important because it is to our benefit as a country. If we are drug-free, especially illicit drugs, we progress as a country. But if we cannot do that, if we cannot achieve that, forget it. We will kill each other more, we will steal from each other more, and we will not even have sympathy for each other, which is the most unfortunate part of it. And we have seen this happening in this country, time without numbers. people killing each other, or somebody will kill another person, and at the end of the day, the only excuse that they will come up with, he was not mentally or she was not mentally able, or that very moment he or she was not okay. Because of what? I think it is very important for the ministry to work on that and see how best they can accelerate their efforts towards addressing the usage and the prevalence of illicit drugs in this country, especially against young people. Honorable Speaker, I believe accessibility to health is indeed very important. And as the world is going, especially in Africa, and as you recently know that I was appointed as the executive member for NEPACO, West Africa Bloc, that is the network for African Parliamentary Committees on Health. Our main advocacy is how to attain universal health coverage. We must have access to healthcare services in this country. And that brings me to the issue of lack of essential drugs in our hospitals. Honorable Speaker, I urge the ministry responsible to work on it. Because the issue of drugs in our hospitals, it is indeed not helping this country. And we cannot continue like this. And for your information, according to the information that we have generated as a committee, even the budget that we are allocating in terms of drugs as Parliament can only cover 30% of the required drugs in this country. We need to look into it. And I think it's important for the Minister of Health and also the Minister of Finance to work on it, because the Abuja Declaration, which is the Maputo Protocol, we must allocate 15% of our budget to health. And this is very key. In order to attain the universal health coverage, we must work and see how best we can provide all the necessary resources to make sure that healthcare services are being provided in this country, and adequately for that matter. Honorable Speaker, going forward, the issue of persons with disability, which is indeed one of the last interventions that I will bring forward. Even though we had an issue last time in terms of when I wanted to identify some of the gaps in terms of the implementation of the Act. But I can tell you, Honorable Speaker, going through it, Section 44 of the Act, the accessibility to the physical environment is still a challenge. Section 45, access to service provided by the public body. Section 46, access to information. Section 47, access to public transport facilities. Section 53, accessibility of roads to persons with disability. Even our recent OIC road that we are all celebrating is still a challenge for people that are disabled to access in this country. And I want the minister responsible to see the way forward, to see how best they can improvise that particular issue. Section 26 talks about the statistics and data collection. In the Gambia, we don't invest in data. And that is our biggest challenge as a country. We can talk, we can make a lot of noise. But when it comes to the provision of data, it's a nightmare. And this we need to work on. The Minister of Interior, please, I want you, and I am urging you, to work on the issue of decentralizing the issue of the issuance of ID cards in this country. It cannot be only Banjul and KMC. These places are always congested, and sometimes you are very frustrated when you visit these areas. In that regards, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the member for Fonye Councillor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank the Vice President for being able to attend this adjournment debate, and various ministers who are also present. I think this is noble. They will hear it from themselves and also work towards abiding what we are also speaking. I also thank the various technicians that are also here from various ministries, security forces, and also members of parliament. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us. We're almost the end of this holy month of Ramadan. And before I start my intervention, I will also thank the head of state for availing sugar for the Muslim, but not cognizance of Jah Qsel. He has did almost well for the Muslim populates, JAOL, Islamic, Africa Relief Foundation, and also Direct Aid, who are supporting this holy month of Ramadan with gifts, and other benevolent gestures, the like of Turo Dabo. They are doing very well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant and protect them for whatever they are achieving. This is a country, and we are Muslims. We are also Christians, caring and sharing. We are in this holy month. Both the Muslims and Christians are fasting. So I think tranquility, and also after the fast, we could emulate to at least build a country that is for all of us. Honorable Speaker, I go straight to Minister of Basic and Secondary Education. You're new in your ministry, and I also want to put you to this. The then minister, I've put it to him. In Fonyi Kansala, about 42 villages, we only have one high school, and then that is a mission high school. Looking at the current development of Sangajo Basic Cycle, it's enormous, well-built, well-furnished by MRC Holland Foundation. I want it strategically for you to look at ways that we can also have a government senior secondary school. Looking at the chunk of students that are from Kanilai side, Sangajor, and others walk almost 15, 12 kilometers, 8 kilometers to Buyang, or they had to move to Fonyi, Bondali for high school. So I think I will work with you to strategically look at possibilities for us to be able to get access to senior secondary school. Not only a mission, and that's the mission that we had in Fonyi Kansala. Honorable Speaker, I go straight to Minister of Energy. My brother, my people of Kansala are not happy. The people of Kansala are not happy at all in the issue of rural electrification. The OMVG is in our constituency in Kanfenda. Now, when they were working on some of those pools, the left side of the road from Soma to Kanfenda down en route, the people were promised that for you, within the line of the OMVG line, you will get access to electricity. I can tell you we have 42 villages in Fonyi Kansala. Out of that, only 13 was electrified with the former president. Currently, we have only 7 that has poles hoping to see electrification. So now we have 22 villages that are without electricity. And in that belt, there are the people who had been informed and also been given praise songs that when the line passes to your end, you will have access to it. So 0 in that end. I want you to note, and urgently, and I think we'll also start a peaceful rioting to raise our banners that we are not happy, the people of Fonyi Kansala. Honorable Speaker, in issue of public-private partnership, we've talked about the issue of consensus in GPA. We look at prices and other issues that are affecting. The Minister of Trade had deliberated and answered very well for the question that I've also put it to him, that prices emanate from the source. Now, when you look at the demurrage charges and issues that are affecting the ports, you realize that whatever it comes now, the consumers will be the people who are affected. Now, looking at the cognizance, we have a person who did almost well, Jawe. According to what he said, and evidence are available, the Minister of Trade, you can take it up with him and learn that he has compensated over $15 million in Mandinari to work on a private jet or a private port. So if some of those people are encouraged and also facilities are given, what is stopping the government from working with JA? After compensating $15 million for dwellers within that area to make sure he works on, is still a challenge for him. Yes. So I think the Minister of Trade and Minister of Local Government and Lands work with the man for us to see a future of this country. Look at the food self-sufficiency that is working in terms of rice. We are seeing animals. Issues of whatever. So here, this is a Gambian who want to invest, not people who are from outside or other countries. It's our own. He want to invest. It's still a challenge for him. So I think we should be able to at least prioritize our own people. And the slogan of Gamtel says, these are issues. So I think we will work on to make sure we solidify our grants. Huh? So I think the Minister of Trade and also Lands work with JA to make smooth transition and help him build the status quo of this country. And I think he has the capacity to do it. Honorable Speaker, I move straight to the security. People will term that he always talk about security, but without security, all of us who are clapping and also breaking our fast, we will not be able to do so. And now when you look at the current status quo, of our security personnel. I want to put this to the Minister of Finance. Last year, I put it to you that the budget for Drug Law Enforcement Agency had a challenge. I think that's sort of about 8 million. What is the fate? Have you republished that? If not, we are putting to you, Minister of Finance. Take note and make sure you could work on that. Because we're looking at the dangers in which drugs are all moving. Look at the seizures that they are doing. So if at the end of the day they are not even empowered, they have sought in resource. Even their personal emolument is a challenge for them. So you will not talk about people fighting drug when they don't even have mobilities, they don't even have the manpower, they don't even have issues that will work to them. So at the end of the day, it will defeat their purpose. So I think it has to. Honorable Minister of Public Service and also Minister of Finance, we've discussed here clearly that the 3 allowances, if I'm right, transport allowance, residential allowance, and also basic salary will be increased from grade 1 to grade 8. But I'm reporting to you, Minister of Finance, that the police, immigration, and other security forces, their home or travel rental allowance is still $250 from a private police constable to a sub-inspector. $250. This is what is in them. And now, you look at other public services, they have increased. Why? What is the problem? You know, I think the issue that we are facing as a country is we are more into SSR, we call it, security sector reform. But I think this is called security sector reporting. You only report to people that you want to and also ignore others. So I'm putting this to the Minister of Finance and also to the Minister of Public Administration Reform. Why are we seeing $250? $250 for the police. So are we really serious as a nation? Or we are only saying sector X, Y, Z do this. And the other one, now when you look at what we call transport allowance, before they were receiving 1,500. But now it's another 100%, 1,500, that is 3,000. It's thumbs up for them. But now for their own issues or what we call, residential allowance or rental allowance is still at the same place. So I think this is not fair and it has to be regularized. And it has to be regularized now. We are not waiting for the future. You told us here that it's across the board. So if security officers are exempted, what direction are we going as a country? What direction are we going as a country? All of us, we all know, all members who are sitting here, how much is your rental allowance? How much? How much? We all know. So these are issues that I think it has to be solved and be solved once and for all. And the other thing also for public service and also finance, when they were paid this increment, they also paid a deduction of 5% onto their pension calculation. Before it was not. Now it had. Both the Army, Defense Minister is here, both the Army, Interior also is here, both the Army and the police and security apparatus are facing a 5% deduction after their new increment. Why was that the case when before it was not the case? Honorable Speaker, in the issue of defense, I think Minister of Defense, you are here. No, I don't have time. I think Minister of Defense is here. In our issues of what we want to do in terms of modernization or reforms, I can tell you for free that warrant officer, the rank of a warrant officer, down to a staff sergeant, is paid what we call rent allowance of $5,000, a staff $4,000. Then a private down to a couple or a lance couple is paid $2,500. But I will put it to you this way. Those people in Basse and Farafenye, those allowances are not even part of their pay scale. I want the Minister of Public Administration to help us, and also Finance. Allowances of those are not part of their pay scale. I'm having their pay list here. Pay scales are here, pay slips. None of them are there. What they will do is, the monies will be sent to the accounts of GAF. GAF will distinguish who has a house, who doesn't have a house, and they'll be paying them in chunk. And I'm telling you, female officers who are in Basse and Farafenye, 4 to a room, all those 4 are deducted. Warrant officers, as per the status of the TACOS, you have to get a double room and parlor, but they are in a single room and they deduct them $5,000. Staff sergeant in a single room, $4,000. My brother who is in Basse, Farafenye, and other Kudang areas, has a wife here, he doesn't have a compound, he's paying rent, and the center, what he thinks he should be able to get that one also is cut, and he's also been left dumb in that particular end. Are we really fair as a nation?
Honorable Speaker, we are confused.
So these are issues that I think we'll be able to work on to make a transitional form. So all these are issues that are effective.
Who is that? I've said it here. Members are only allowed to interrupt through permissible interruption. Don't do that. No, you know what to do. You know what to do by using the law. Honorable member for Central Badibu, you know what to do. Don't do that. If you want to observe, you know what to do. No. Now he is not on the floor. I'm on the floor now. Please don't do that. Honorable member for Fonyi Councillor, please continue.
Thank you. You observe yourself. I don't have time. If your ears are not working, I am okay. My tongue is very clear. I am from Fonyi. Thank you. So, Honorable Speaker, Minister of the Defense, these are the issues that are facing. So the general notion is, govs should be able to prioritize and see. For example, if you said house rent, who is entitled and what amount? Now, if that entitlement is not there, you are now cutting a $5,000. That brother is renting and his wife is renting in the combos here. He is on posting in the provinces. What will happen to him or her? So if a warrant officer's eligibility is about a double room and parlor, he is in a single room. He has an officer that he also living with. That officer is cut off from his rent allowance, and also he also is the same. So I think the army should work on a mechanism to make sure if houses are not ready, let them stop about cutting their rental allowance. Make things available first. If it is available, you can work on. But you don't have things available, they are living 2, 3, or 4 in a house. You are cutting them. At the end of the day, it's not even paid to them. It is now a second turn and say, okay, you don't have a house, you pay them as if you are paying an allowance. When it should be part and parcel within their pay slip. It's removed. So let's work on this, to make sure that we could stop some of those issues. If not, it's going to be a challenge, and I think it's not in order. And when it is not in order now, it will also be very difficult for institutions like the army to be happy. The soldiers are not happy. The police are not happy. Security forces are not happy. Let's make them be happy as what we promise. The only way that we can do now is to make sure whatever they deserve, let's push it for what they deserve on. Finally, Honorable Speaker, I want to go to the point straight. My time is almost ending. A member of parliament said General Musa Savage is a security threat. Now, when you say a security threat, somebody who has served the army for a period of 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, without even a single charge sheet, from 2017 to 2018, 2019, the ambience group who was taking ownership of the leadership of this country were inserting coupists in this country.
Honorable Member for Councillor, please sit down. Honorable members, we should avoid, I'm not sure, was it done today also? Because in the floor? Yes. When I was raising my question and answer. I presided over the but I cannot recall that. But please, honorable members, avoid making such assertion allegations. Sit down, please be quiet there. Honorable member, please be quiet there. Honorable members, I'm not sure, I missed that, but members must avoid making allegations against individuals who may not be able to be here to defend themselves and to mention their names and accuse them of something that, in addition to probably members may not be able to substantiate that, and they will not be able to be here also to defend themselves. It's unfortunate that it happened the day before yesterday. That was Wednesday, right? Yeah, but I cannot recall hearing a member said that. I would have drawn to the attention of this assembly that was not accurate. The member for the councillor, please continue.
All right. So in so doing, I think officers who are served, and it is the prerogative of the government to say, I can work for you, I will not work for you. But now, thank God, this government have reinstated coupists who are even strong men in the army now. So in so doing, I think the government should be very cautious onto issues of security threat. Honorable, my time. The other thing that I also want to lay emphasis on, the same people that they have given a red carpet, they are talking outside in the social media. 38 December attackers are challenging. And be very serious with this. These are issues that of national security. Nobody will work on to destabilize this country on our own eyes. We are ex-soldiers and we remain competent to defend this country. So these are all issues that are happening. They are in social media. The people that you build red carpet are the people who are now talking again. So in so doing, I think the general notion of every country is the security of its men and women must be protected, and they must be.
Thank you, member for Fonyi Councillor. I now invite the member for Combo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I first must commend my colleague Muslims for the almost completion of the holy month of Ramadan, and I wish them a happy Eid in advance. Honorable Speaker, I must commend the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure for recently starting up with the Narang Road project. And I hope this road will be of very importance to the people of Combo East and even Combo at large. Honorable Speaker, besides, I must also have to engage the ministry and inform the Ministry of Local Government and Lands. I heard some of my colleagues complaining about street lights and so on, and I think this is not under the responsibility of Ministry of Energy alone, but we had the Ministry of Local Government under the municipalities and the area councils. Honorable Speaker, I hail from one of the biggest and the most populated region, that is the West Coast region, which is being administered by the Brikama Area Council. Honorable Speaker, of recent, we've seen no media house is trying to flag this thing to the general public to know the ongoings in that, the activities that are ongoing against the people of West Coast. And it is about time we speak about this thing and then we work for an amicable solution to this. We would not allow people to handle our rates, be holding them and still showing to be people that are administering it in the best. And what we were expecting, the list is not being realized so far. Honorable Speaker, of recent, we've seen the council working on increasing rates on businesses and rateable properties, which has brought in confusion and brings in some misunderstanding among the public, and there could be, it could cause, in long term, it could cause a threat to national security. And Honorable Speaker, I would urge the Ministry of Local Government and Lands to come very clear to make sure that the Local Government Act is being adhered to. We are being administered by people that thought politics can make things work, and it is impossible. We are people, we are one of the most populated administrative areas to be considered. We expect our markets to grow better, our businesses to flow fairly, but then we are seeing the contrary. And I think the Ministry of Local Government and Lands has a key role to play on. We've seen our vendors being kicked out by road clearers, yet still these people are paying rates to the council, and council has not ever attempted to bring them a solution to keep them down and then be selling. And we are putting these accusations to government, saying that government is chasing people from the roadsides. It is right that roads has to be cleared. But if we need our vendors to be seated, it has to be fair enough. It should be the responsibility of those councils that are administering the day-to-day activities of businesses in markets. Honorable Speaker, it's like we are trying to let ourselves be governed one way, and this is unfair. I quoted a colleague member here who has said we should not be allowed as majority MPs to be an scapegoat, but in fact, we should also be considering otherwise. We are seeing what the councils are trying to levy on people, and we are still putting a deaf eye because it is in favor of them. And we, that receives complaints about people, this is open. It is open everywhere. We've seen how the Brikama Area Council is running through, administering the affairs of the Brikama Area Council by affecting people and segregating, even in the form of employment, recruitment and employment. If you get into that, the Honorable Minister, I am tasking you to get us to engage the Brikama Area Council through its Chief Executive Officer to make sure that these things comes to a halt. And let us work towards maintaining sanity. Brikama Area Council is one of the biggest and the most populated region. And then for us to be administered must be diligent. And I think the Ministry of Local Government and Land has a key role to play. People are fed up. It's not that because we cannot speak or we cannot revolt or we cannot protest it, we can protest it. And if the ministry did not work into this thing, we will come out and take a solution to this thing and face the council to make sure that we will not be intimidated. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I beg to take my seat. Thank you.
Honorable members, order please. If you don't listen, you will not hear what the member is saying. Once he starts saying something and you start engaging each other, you will not hear his statement. Allow him to say what he wants to say first, then you talk. Honorable member for Talinding Kunjang, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'll first and foremost extend Eid al-Fitr greetings to His Excellency the Vice President and Honorable Cabinet Ministers and colleagues here.
Please, my neighbor is on the floor. Please.
Honorable members and members of the gallery, please, if you want to engage in discussion, quietly step out and allow proceeding to proceed. Members, please. Yeah, continue.
I will start by inviting His Excellency the Vice President to visit my constituency, Talini, Kunjang, especially around the community, in the community along the swampy corridor. Year in, year out, we have hundreds of compounds that are severely affected by floods. They perish, they lose a lot of their food items. They have a lot of their house properties damaged to the extent that there are houses that have vacated their compounds due to floods. A while ago, I raised this question to His Excellency here when he mentioned about monitoring teams coming to visit Talindi. And I did tell him that they have not arrived there yet. And he said they are coming. I'm not sure whether they have come or they have even surveyed. But what we need is not just to come and survey. We need a government project that is going to ensure that the water has enough ways to access to the swamps to avoid the victims that we have every year. This is in line with the National Development Plan. Strategy Priority 1, building community resilience to shocks and crises. And I want to question, what does the government do to implement this thing in the urban area? Because in the same National Development Plan, government has confirmed that the urban settlements, the urban poverty is in increase with growing food insecurity and malnutrition in the urban areas. And as outlined in the NBS deal, the government promised to work with its development partners to bring solutions to these urban settlements. And this is a crucial thing I want the government to underline. I want to record this several times until we see that is happening. Almost half of Talinding are living in the swamps. And we cannot continue every year National Disaster Management will come and assess, nothing happens. What are the strategic plans to ensure that the National Disaster Development Agency under the Ministry of, under the Vice President's office, to ensure that we have a long-term solutions to mitigate these disasters in the swampy corridors of Talindi. I want to talk about something that is very fundamental, the way this government is doing. That is equitable distribution of national resources. Anybody who is watching knows the strategy the government is doing. Just yesterday, day before yesterday, I stumbled upon a video where local people are lamenting about the neglect that this government is doing to their community, and then they participate hugely in bringing this government to power. But they have seen how government has shifted development to areas they feel that is where their strength lies. And this is the strategy that this government is doing. You cannot trade development for votes. It's wrong. Do not take development to areas you think this is where our votes lie, and you ignore where you think your positions are holding. Every one of us, those of us who spoke here, you hear they are surprised with the development trends in places that are controlled by government MPs. All the projects are going there. All the projects are going there. Now, see, the CDS is for the National Assembly. Your government that we are putting into office, every Gambian taxpayers goes into this. We are not comfortable with what I want to say, but I will still say it. Point of order. Point of order.
There is point of order from the member for Kiang West. Can we have a point of order?
Honorable Speaker, Order 17F. While a member is speaking, all members shall be silent and shall not make unseemly interruption. As honorable member is making his deliberation, he's been interrupted by honorable members. Can you please put them to the order?
Order, honorable members, order. Order sustained. And I had the member for Talinding informing him those who were disrupting, who were making noise. And while the member was on the floor, the member for Talinding himself was disrupting. So, order sustained, and all members should be silent. I have made that call several times, and I'm happy it's coming from the member for Kiang West, and he has colleagues here in the chambers who are part of his group. And then now the member, the member for Central Badibu, the member for Opanyomi, the member for Latikunda Sabiji.
No, you can't say I didn't say anything, please.
They are all part of that group. I don't know who is the ringleader, but they should appoint a leader. Thank you. Please, honorable members and members of the gallery, we should allow members to submit their opinions, and when we also are on the floor, so that they will give us opportunity to do so. Look at him, he's talking now. Order, nominated member Maimuna Sisere Dabo and your group. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I was saying, social justice requires that resources of the nation are equitably distributed. And every individual in that particular country has access to it and participate in the development process in that. So it is surprising to realize that some of the representatives of the people, or people that are places that are perceived to be controlled by the oppositions, are being deliberately sidelined. If you look at it, observe it, anything that has to do with major development from LRR to Banjul, and this is why the honorable member for Jara Central is complaining. You are being affected because of the neglect of LRR as an administrative area. So LRR West Coast KM and Banjul. So all these administrative areas that are controlled by anti-government or opposition parties are not being seen as they deserve to be given their share of the national cake. This is unfair. No serious government does this. We all pay tax, and even when you bring these loans that you bring, you implement it to these areas. It doesn't mean those constituencies only pay those loans. Every Gambian here, even those in the Combos, urban areas, we all pay those loans. Even Gambians that on bond will go to pay those loans. So it is injustice. Gross injustice. Thank you for qualifying that. To unevenly distribute national development like that. So I call on the government to reconsider this strategy they are doing. You cannot trade development for votes. It's never acceptable. We all pay votes, whether we vote or we don't vote, we deserve development. And this strategy is even evident in the recently by-election, when we see advisor of president taking a grader to tell Kiankas that if you don't vote, if you want to vote, if you want development, vote for the ruling party. If you don't vote, you don't get it. That's the message we are sending. That if you don't vote for the ruling government, you don't get development. Which serious government does that? Which serious government does that? In fact, those who don't vote for you, take their development. If they see the development, they can vote for you. We are complaining because we see what to complain about. What you all do is, as a government, is to ensure that the opposition don't have anything to say. But if you do not say it, you don't want us to say it. If you want to take words from our mouth, do the needful so that we don't have anything to say. And this is very evident with regard to the engagement from ministries. Let me tell you, projects in constituencies, if we are not a government MP, the ministries don't consult you even. We are the representatives of the people. If you want to reach to the grassroots, any development with roads, they don't consult you. You don't even know. Because they don't want you to be seen as somebody who brings that development. What is this? I was voted in before you bring the development. So, in the YIC road construction in Talini, a colleague of mine informed me. NRA did not call you. I said no. I said they will call you. I give them your number. Up to date, they never call me. Up to date, even the demolition in Talindi, those that are affected, what the ministry is doing, they never consult me to tell me this is what is happening. I have to dig in myself to know. And you, my constituency, the people I represent, are affected. You as a ministry, you are silencing the representative of the people to deal with those people directly, so that you don't want the MP to be seen as somebody who plays part in the development. That's unethical. Now, Honorable Speaker, local governance is very important in any development. Decentralization is key. You devolve power, but not only power, but resources to the periphery, so that they also can develop. Now, this government's obsession with local government, I cannot understand that. Your budget is up to 35 billion. You are competing with councils that don't have 300 million. You have to do work. You are asking council, you with 35 billion budget. You are asking councils with 300 million, 150 billion. You are blaming them for that development. Councils derive their powers from the central government. Whatever they can't do is the central government that should reach out, transfer the skills, transfer the resources to ensure that they do the needful. We've seen what the commission is bringing about. A lot of these councils lack capacity. Who should give them? Who should give them? Even the 25% subvention, you refuse to do it. Deliberately. Now, we've seen in the councils, some of them are trying tremendously. KMC built a library that is compared to none in this country. Go to National Library. After 60 years of independence, we are just celebrating 60 years. It's an embarrassment to show anybody outside the Gambia that this is your national library. Repository of knowledge. Repository of knowledge in your country. Of resources. This is your national library. You step on stones during the rainy season to enter your national library. But not only there, go there and see the materials that are there. It cannot even accommodate up to 50 students at a time. Instead of emulating the KMC and embracing them, you want to kill them and stifle their development in the councils. You want to stifle them. That's the objective of this government. Stifle all councils. Go to KMC and learn how to build library. Build it in URR should have a national library befitting like the KMC. Not banks should have a library befitting like La France. That way, you are giving quality education. This government is upset with numbers. 60,000 classroom blocks. We've built 50,000. Does that show there is quality? Just now, the minister told us that there is a stationary stock in the ministry that do not reach schools. Last academic year, I bought Vanguard for Talinding High School. Vanguard for them to use between me and this Ramadan. They don't even have it. Materials are stocked in the ministry. Where is quality? According to the National Development Plan, access is not only access, but quality education. So it's not about numbers. We are obsessed with numbers. 150,000 jobs, 10,000 households. Well, what is that? To entice people on an imaginary development that will never come. Let's be realistic with our development. These are all misleading. The politics of deception must end in this country. We are deceiving our. So it's very important. We strategize these things. We ensure. And one thing before I forget, I'm very hopeful with the ministry of the new minister in the upper basic. Yes, I'm very hopeful. Not that he is sitting here. Yes, I have confidence because there was a time we lost track of what is happening, what the ministry is doing. But the Talinding Senior Secondary School is the president's promise. For over many years now, it's stagnant, and I know you will do something about that. Because that is to make good the president's promise. I did not promise to people of Talinding. It's the president's promise. To fulfill it is to make good the president's promise. And I am thankful also, through your partners, Talinding Lower Basic School is starting a new block, 3 classroom stroke. Thank you for the government, and the ministry for that. Now, one for and you are clapping because I said that. Now, I want the government. Yes, I'll be done. I think I'm fine. Yes. The National Service, National Library Service Commission, supposed to be a stand-alone. They are still under the ministry, and they should be a stand-alone institution. So that means they are draining the ministry's resources, or lower basic. So the new minister should be supported to ensure that they implement that act of National Assembly, so that National Library Service becomes a stand-alone. The speaker is counting my time.
No, just go. Forget about it.
So that this distraction tactics. So that National Library Service, the Ministry of Finance will be ready to fund them adequately, so that they are able to implement some of those strategies. We do this. We have the spirit to move this country. Allow people to talk. We are not anti-government. I am not. I love this country. That's why I'm here. When we are talking, we have to raise issues. That's what we are doing. Thank you.
Honorable members. Honorable members, order please. Honorable members, order please. It is now 4:57. I want to adjourn for 15 minutes, and we shall resume by 5:15. The House is suspended.